Hey guys, what's up? It's Savannah. Welcome back to another episode of My Thoughts Exactly. Thank you guys so much for joining me here today. I am so happy that you are here. Happy Friday, you guys. I hope you have had a great week. And if you didn't, guess what? It's Friday. We made it. Happy Friday, you guys. I have had a pretty good week thus far. It's been a very slow week. I feel this week is kind of like just moseying along. It's dragging. It's doing the most right now. I would say the main event that has happened in my life this week has been, it's so insignificant, like completely. I got glasses. I told you guys about this last week. I am now a part of the glasses gang. I have glasses. I am nearsighted, so I can't see things far away, and I'm not wearing them right now because I'm a little scared because I feel like the more that I wear them, the worse that like my natural eyesight is going to be. But I do wear them at night. Like once the sun goes down, that's kind of when the glasses go on because everything kind of looks like I'm seeing double and I cannot like read subtitles. I have a hard time watching TV, even like seeing Hayden, looking at Hayden. I'm like, there are two of you standing in front of me right now. So I do need to put them on, and I do wear them when I drive. So we're covered there, but I don't know. Is there a study? Does anyone know if I wear them too frequently, will my natural eyes get worse? Let me know in the comments below. Submit. Thank you guys so much for joining me here today. I am so excited to be doing this episode. I told you guys last week in last week's episode what we are going to be doing today, and it is honestly one of my favorite segments to do because I just love sitting here and chit-chatting with you guys. Sorry if you're watching me and you see me look over. You guys, there is a giant bird on my front porch right now. We're having a stare-off. If you don't, okay, a little fun fact about me. I don't love birds. I kind of have a fear of them. But that one was cute. Okay, it flew away. Sorry. I got sidetracked. Anyways, as you can tell by the title, we are doing another segment of reacting to your unpopular opinions. This truthfully is one of my favorite segments to do. Anytime that I get to incorporate you guys into an episode and we just get to like sit back, relax, and like chit chat with each other, that is my favorite. So I asked you guys on Instagram, you guys already know the drill by now. You do. Follow the My Thoughts Exactly Instagram page. That is where you get all things podcast related, all things like segment related, where if you guys want to like chime in or chip in or what would Sav do, that's where it all goes down. It all goes down on the podcast Instagram. But I asked you guys on Instagram for some opinions, some unpopular opinions, and we are going to go through them start to finish. I am very, very excited. So, shall we? I think we shall. The first one, we're starting from the bottom and working our way up. First one, college is a scam. Unless you want to be a doctor or a lawyer, just go to trade school. Okay, so personally, this is a hot take, and is it? I don't know. I feel like because I didn't really go to college and I didn't really have the college experience, maybe I'm not the best person to speak about this, but maybe I am because I didn't go to college and I'm okay. Like, I think I'm okay. I don't think that college is as necessary as it once was. That's my personal opinion. I think it's less of a requirement as it once was. Obviously, if you want to be in the medical field or if you want to be a lawyer, there's certain professions that do require you to go to school, obviously. And like, you need to do that. We need to have, doctors who are going to school. I don't want someone operating on me who has not like gone through the things that they needed to do to like, be able to do that. So I do think that college is important for a lot of specific fields. Do I think it's important for everyone? No. Do I think that everyone needs to go to college? No. So yeah, I don't think that college is necessary, and I think that I'm the poster child for that. But I also do think that if you are, wanting a specific profession, then obviously like you do have to go to school for those things. Would I go as far as to say it's a scam? I mean, maybe yes, maybe no. I can see how it could be because you're just throwing all this money into going to school to get a degree that a lot of times I know so many people, so many friends of mine who like get these degrees and they're so, they're broad and generic. And as you would think, getting a broader generic degree would help you in, a variety of jobs in a variety of positions. In fact, it's kind of the opposite. They have these degrees and they're like, I don't even know what to do with this. So I do get how it can come off a little scammy, and I do agree with that. But again, I'm the poster child for not going to college. So Unpopular opinion number 2. Taylor Swift is the best artist in the world. It's very funny. Whenever we do any of these types of segments, there's like at least 3 comments about Taylor Swift in one way or another. I guarantee you there's going to be another one in here. I haven't read through all of them. I haven't seen any of them, but I guarantee you there's going to be one in here that says that Taylor Swift sucks. So it's just funny to see the contrast and how people have just such like differing opinions about Taylor Swift. And I feel like beforehand, before Taylor like reached this level of fame that she's at now, like before eras and all of those things, I feel like sometimes people had like a middle ground when it came to Taylor Swift. They're like neither here nor there about it. But now, because I feel like she's so much more, like the celebrity that she has just grown to such an immense degree, something that's like honestly that we have not really seen very often in our generation, I would go to say, like the immense fame that she has. It's crazy. I feel like because of that, it really has drawn people to either be on like 2 very opposite sides of the spectrum. You have people who absolutely are obsessed and love Taylor Swift, and then you have people that are like anti Taylor Swift. Would I say that she's the best artist in the world? No, I would not. But I do love Taylor Swift. I am a very, very big diehard Swiftie. So I'm sure we're going to get into that in a little bit too. Oh, also, okay, wait, speaking of, now that we're on the topic, I have to pause this real quick and say that the day that you guys are listening to this is the day the Tortured Poets Department is out. Her new album. I think that's what it's called, right? The Tortured, okay, tongue twister. Okay, Savannah. The Tortured Poets Department is, I think, out today. I am so excited, you guys. I cannot wait. I should have began this podcast by saying Happy International Taylor Swift Day. Like Happy Tortured Poets Department Day. That was a missed opportunity on my part, but full circle, we made it there. I am so excited. Leave in the comments down below if you love Taylor Swift, what your favorite song off the album is. I'm going to probably be posting about it a lot on the My Thoughts Exactly Instagram page, just because I love Taylor Swift, you guys. I'm sorry. I saw her back in May of 2023, and truthfully, best concert I've ever been to. Okay, next one. If he wanted to, he would is not true. I think it should be if he knows it's important to you, he should. Yeah. I think that both things are important. That I think that 2 things can exist at once. I think that if he knows it's important to you, he should do it, but he also should want, if he wanted to, he would do it as well. I think those are kind of similar in a way, because I do think that if he wanted to show up for you, if he wanted to, make sure that you knew that he was a priority, he should want to do that. And he should show up for you in those ways. So I do think that those kind of can be put into similar categories a little bit. I think that if he wanted to, he would. I go back and forth on that a lot. And I do think that the phrase, if he wanted to, he would, gets thrown around very loosely, especially when it comes to early beginning talking stages. And we're trying to figure out do we like each other or do we not? And, oh, he didn't text me, or, oh, he didn't call me, but I also didn't text him. I also didn't call him. And it's kind of like the chase game a little bit when you're in one of those talking stages. I think that if he wanted to, he would doesn't apply to those. I do think if he wanted to, he would is true. I do think that is true. I think just from firsthand experience, I've experienced the if he wanted to, he would being true. I've had many, past relationships and situationships where, they had the ability to do something and they still didn't show up for me in X, Y, and Z way. And it's just because they didn't want to. If he doesn't want to show up for you, he's not going to. And I think that was an important and painful, hard truth to swallow, but it was, again, very important for me to realize. I do think that if he wanted to, he would is true. But I also think if he knows it's important to you, he should is also true. I think both things can exist at the same time. All right, next one. Arguing with your significant other is healthy. Okay, I think that this might be a hot take, because I do think that I think that there's a difference. I think that it's important to lay out what this difference is that I'm about to talk about. I think having disagreements and learning how to work through those disagreements with your partner, learning how to communicate, learning how to talk through them, learning how to, figure out how each other navigates, a disagreement. All of those things are very healthy. Do I think it's healthy to have screaming matches and toxic arguments? You guys know what I'm talking about. The slamming of the doors or punching the walls or leaving or I'm gone. I hate you. I'm breaking up with you. Da, 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 da. I don't think that that's healthy at all. I think that there is a fine line, and I wouldn't even say that arguments are healthy. I think that disagreements and learning how to work through those are healthy. Is it in a perfect world where everyone gets along and no one has arguments? Would that be ideal? Yes. But I do think a testament to how healthy your relationship is how you work through those hard times, is how you navigate through those disagreements. So I think disagreements are healthy. I wouldn't say that full-blown arguments are healthy. It's also important to kind of point out and realize and take note of how frequently you're having these disagreements. If you're having disagreements a lot, like a lot, if it's more bad than good, I don't think that that's healthy. I think a healthy disagreement is good every once in a while over maybe not a huge big thing. You learn how to problem solve, you learn how to communicate, you learn how to be solution oriented with your partner. I think those types of things are healthy because they teach you healthy tricks and healthy traits of a relationship and how to navigate and move through. But I don't think like that the screaming toxic arguments are good. Like the super high highs. I have had a couple relationships in the past where the adrenaline rush was like I was on a freaking roller coaster because we would be super, super good and then we would fight like no one's business. Like literally it was horrible fights. And then we would be up here super good again and then down like just I hate you, screaming, throwing like horrible. And I don't think that that's healthy. In fact, I know that that's not healthy. So I don't want to like sit here and romanticize or glamorize arguments by any means because I don't think that the arguments are healthy, but I think that a little healthy disagreement and learning how to be solution oriented with your partner every once in a while is good. Okay, moving on. Nutella on scrambled eggs. You guys, no. we're not even gonna get into this one. It's just a no from me. It's a no from me. Next one. Guys have it easier in life, and if they don't, they are good at pretending that life is easier. Okay, I might have a hot take on this one. I don't necessarily... Okay, I think that there are certain roles in life, certain things in life that men have a smoother ride going down, and I think that there are certain roles in life that women have a smoother ride going down. I think that men and women separately, there's things that we are better at. There's things that women are better at. There's things that men are better at. I am traditional in that sense. I do believe that. I also think that we are in a generation right now that is so anti-men. And I'm treading lightly here because I'm a girl's girl through and through. I am for the girls always. And I don't want to make it seem like it's not. I'm not. But I also think right now we're in this generation of like, men like are just trashed, at least on the internet, day in, day out, social media. Men suck. Men are horrible. And I personally don't agree with that. I think that there are some things in life that women are better at. I think that there are some things in life that men are just better at, simply put. And I think that because of that, I think it would be naive to disregard the fact that in the past and for certain things, men have an easier time getting through life doing certain things. They have an easier time getting certain positions. They have an easier time filling certain roles. That's all true. And I'm not like, disregarding that. But I do think that right now we are so hyper focused on this, idea that all men are just trash. And I don't agree with that. I don't know if that's a hot take. It probably is. I'm for the girls. I love the girls, but I also don't think that men should be dragged through the mud either, At least not all of them. Some of them, I get it. But, that's my opinion. Okay, moving on. Body positivity has gotten a little too out of control. You guys are going to get me in trouble today. Okay, here's my opinion on this. I think that me as an individual who is not a doctor, a dietitian, a health practitioner, anywhere near the medical field, I am in no position whatsoever to tell anyone what they should and should not do with themselves, with their bodies, what they want to do. It's just not my business, and it's not my place, and it never will be. So let's start there. Do I think that we needed as a society to have a body positivity movement? Yes. Do I think that we needed to see representation in brands of bigger sizes? Yes. Do I think that, we needed to have more representation just for more people to feel confident in their skin? Yes. I think all of that is true, and I think it's so important to see. I know growing up, I didn't see, girls that, all I was looking at was like the skinny stick Victoria's Secret models, and there's nothing wrong with that. Stunning, beautiful, gorgeous, amazing. We love it. But there was no other representation. So that was all I could aspire to be at the time and aspire to look like. And if I didn't look like that, which I don't, that was really hard for me to navigate. I've talked about this before, but I have two sisters who our body composition is just different. They are my half sisters. So they have the same mom, and they have the same mom. I have a different mom. We share the same dad. They are both 5'5" and naturally thinner. I am 5'8" and naturally have hips. I'm more on the hourglass side. And I remember growing up, all I wanted to do was look like them because I just felt like the black sheep a little bit. And I think that not really growing up with any representation or body positivity, that was something that definitely took a toll on me for a while, and it created a lot of unhealthy habits. It created a lot of, sense of doubt and lack of self-worth and self-love and self-confidence that I have now since, going through life and getting older and seeing some representation, seeing some body positivity. I think it's all great. Do I think that with everything in life, like everything in life, there's extremes? Yes. I do think that there are extremes with everything. I think that in the beginning of the body positivity movement, before it even existed, we were so far on one end of the spectrum of it not even existing. There was no body positivity unless you fit into a certain box and a certain mold. Now the spectrum has widened. Now the spectrum has gotten longer. And now the other side of the extreme of that spectrum also exists. So I understand what you're saying. I get that, body positivity, the body positivity movement has gone too far and is too extreme. I do think that the extreme side exists. Yes, I do. I think that side of the spectrum is definitely there, and it does, in my opinion, have a tendency, and again, this is just my opinion, I do think that side of the spectrum, when you get to that end of the extreme, is unhealthy. Just as much as I think that the other side of the spectrum, both ends of the extremes, are unhealthy, okay? That's what I'm saying about that. But also, just to conclude this, I am not here to tell anyone how they should look, what they should do with their bodies, what they should be putting into their bodies. If you are happy and you are healthy, then that's it. That's it. That's all that matters. All right, next one. Chocolate is gross and I can't stand the taste. I have to disagree with you there, Miss Ma'am. I love chocolate. I love chocolate. I'm obsessed with chocolate. Anything chocolate I will love. The only chocolate that I don't like is like the orange chocolate. Those like orange chocolate things that I don't like. It actually tastes like a headache to me. I don't know why, but that's it. Next one, the unnecessary tapping on all the products when people record a get ready with me or restock video. I know exactly what you're talking about. You're talking about either those ASMRs when they're like, I don't know if you can hear this on the mic right now or not, but like that noise, I get it. It drives me absolutely insane. I always skip past them. I've never really been super big into ASMR. It always, it kind of like makes me itch a little bit. Like, I don't understand why people are talking that quietly or like, rubbing their nails on things. Like, I've never been into that. It sounds like nails on a chalkboard for me. And it's never been my thing. So whenever I see a video of someone being like, tapping or doing all of the things, I simply skip. It's not for me. It's not for me. All right, next one. Matcha is disgusting. This is going to be such a hot take, but I agree. I don't like it. I've tried to get on the matcha train. I've tried to be on it. I've tried to like be one of the matcha girlies with my cute little green drink, just like beep bopping around. I don't like it. I don't know why. And I get people are like, oh, it's like a natural source of caffeine. That's great. Good for you. Enjoy your natural source of caffeine. I will sit here with my quadruple shot of espresso over ice. Thank you so very much. Going out to the bar is overrated. I will agree with you on this also because I feel like as I've gotten older, my desire to go out has literally diminished. I've been talking to a lot of my friends about this lately, and I think I'm going to do a whole episode on it about boundaries and burnout because I feel like I'm in this phase of life as of late where I am consistently going out to dinners or going out to bars. And especially when I first moved to Nashville, like going out to all these bars, and I go out to these bars, then I sit in the bar and I'm like, what am I doing here? Like, I love being around my friends. I love socializing, but I'm just not into the bar scene anymore, really. I enjoy like a nice dinner. Like, I love a good dinner. That's my thing. I love a good dinner, a couple glasses of wine. That's what I enjoy. High-end makeup is overrated. Okay. I think yes and no. I think that there are definitely some high-end products and high-end brands that are overrated. And really now, like, we're at a point in society and just like in the makeup world in general where there are so many dupes to so many different products, and you could probably find a dupe for every product that you want out there online. Just Google it or look at a TikTok video. There's probably a bunch of them online. I think that, I do think that there are some, I love my high-end products. I have a couple just like staple high-ends that I love that I've tried. I have tried drugstore. I have tried high-end. There are certain things where I'm like, the drugstore just works. And usually the drugstore always works for the most part. I just think that now I'm at a point where like I do like some of my higher end products, especially for like filming and stuff. And like when I do Killer Instinct and for, My Thoughts Exactly too, having good products that I know I can rely on is important to me. So I do like a good high-end product. I just did I was a part of the Sephora sale. If you also did that, I did some damage at Sephora. I just am a sucker for Sephora, and I'm trying not to be. I love Ulta too. Ulta versus Sephora, we can debate in the comments, but I like high-end makeup, but I also like drugstore makeup. I just like all makeup. That's my thing. I like all makeup. Okay. Ooh, okay. This is actually one that I feel like I have a lot of opinions on. It says, moving in together first doesn't make marriage as exciting and new. This is a very good take. I've heard this a lot from different people. I know personally, I have friends who they want to wait until they are at least engaged, if not married, to move in with their partners because they want to be able to really experience that new chapter in its entirety. They want the moving in together to kind of be a part of it. Now, obviously, if you don't know, I talk about it a million times, but I do live with my boyfriend and we've been living together for almost 2 years. We've been dating it'll be 3 years in November. So moving in together, we moved in together very soon after we started dating. In my opinion, we moved in together about 9-10 months against a lot of people's advice. We moved in together, and it honestly, I will have to disagree with this opinion. I do think that everyone is different, but for me personally, moving in with Hayden was like the best decision I've ever made. I think that it has really allowed our relationship to flourish and grow. And I do think that there is such thing as growing pains when you move in with someone. And we talked about this all in last week's episode, by the way, about relationships and getting into the roommate phase and working out those kinks. And so I think that by moving in with Hayden before we got married, we were really able to figure out how we work well together, how we live well together, getting through those growing pains. And I'm glad that we did that before we got married. So that way it's not like, okay, we're getting married and there's the excitement of getting married, but then I'm also feeling weird because like we're kind of clashing a little bit, you know, moving in together and having these growing pains and having to figure out how to live with another human. I do think that everyone's different in how they experience all of that, but personally, I'm very glad that Hayden and I moved in together before we got married. I do think that when we get married, we will probably move houses. I think that that's what we've talked about. Like, we've been in this house now for 2 years, and I think we're going to stay here until we get married. So that way it'll be like still an exciting shift. Like, we're still going to be moving into a new house together. It'll be starting a new chapter, and it will feel that like freshness and newness. And I am excited for that. But as far as like making it less exciting, I think that it's still, I mean, granted, I'm not married, so I can't really speak to that, but I do think that, you know, I think it's still exciting, personally. Okay, next one. Younger guys are better to date than older guys. Okay, I think it depends on how much younger we're talking. I would say that I have dated more guys that are younger than me than I have guys that are older than me. And by younger, I mean like just by a year. Like, I've dated a 22-year-old when I was 23, and then he was 23, so that kind of overlapped. Hayden's 26, I'm 27, so Hayden's about a year younger than me to the exact date. Our birthdays are literally 8 days apart. So I have dated younger in that sense. I know when it comes to women and men dating, they always advise women to date older because when our maturity and their maturity, meaning guys' maturity, doesn't always line up. And so older guys are more mature because their brains are developed more and yada, yada, yada. Date who you want to date. That's what I have to say. I think that there's no better nor worse. Like, I don't think that older guys are worse to date than younger guys. And I don't think younger guys are better to date than older guys. I think if you're legal, by the way, let's just blanket statement that if you're legal and it's not like a crazy, crazy age gap, like, I think that, just date whoever you want. Date whoever you want. Date who makes you happy. If dating a younger guy makes you happy, date the younger guy. If dating the older guy makes you happy, date the older guy. Oh, okay. The light theme on the iPhone is better than the dark theme. I agree with this. As you can tell, my phone is always on the light theme. It's never on the dark theme. And I don't know any other friends of mine or Hayden. Like, no one that I know has their phone on the light theme, probably other than my parents. But other than that, everyone I know does the dark theme. And I just am not into it for some reason. I don't know. It's weird to me. And that's very strange to me because I love, like, my favorite color. One of them is black. Obviously, I wear black all the time. And so I would think that I would like the darker theme, but I just don't. Here we go. I knew it would be in here somewhere. Unpopular opinion, Taylor Swift is severely overrated. Knew it was going to be in here. As I told you earlier, I love Taylor Swift. So I do understand people who think that she is very much overrated. I think that that's honestly like a somewhat fair statement to be like, her level of fame is so insane that like it is a little bit overrated and is a little bit like too much, but I love her and I love her music. So I don't see it as overrated. Everyone sees red flags from the first interactions. They just choose to ignore them. I would have to disagree with this. I feel like just within my personal experience, I have dated many guys who put on the facade, they play the part, they say all the right things, they do all the right things, and then slowly but surely things start to unravel. The curtain starts to get pulled back, and it's not always off of that first interaction. I do think, though, that because of that, once they build up that rapport and that charm and that suave and smooth guy act, it makes it harder to see those red flags. I do agree with that. And then once you see them, you're like, oh, that's just a fluke. Or like, oh, no, that doesn't exist. I'm looking the other way. I see nothing. I hear nothing. I see nothing. I think that exists. But I don't always think that red flags are there like right from the very start and like we're all just choosing to ignore them. Pickle juice is so good to drink. I would not know, but I also don't want to know. So that's my opinion on that. Coffee is life. I love a good coffee. I'm going to have an iced coffee after I film this, and I'm very excited. Oh, here's a good one. Grape artificial flavor is absolutely terrible and tastes like medicine. I love grape. This is my unpopular opinion of life. Everyone hates grape. They hate grape flavored this, grape flavored that, grape flavored Skittles or Laffy Taffy or Airheads or candy or medicine. I love grape flavored medicine. Like, you know that Motrin that your parents used to give you when you were a kid and it was purple? It was like the grape flavor and it was liquid, but it was like thick. It tasted like freaking candy. It was so good. Oh my God, I can taste it right now. I love it. The white flavor was also so good. I love grape. Grape gets a bad rap. I'm not an orange girl. Orange, keep it away from me. I don't like it. I don't want it. I don't want to smell it. I don't want it anywhere near me. I don't like orange, and I also just don't like banana flavored anything, but that's just a different topic of conversation. Those two, not a fan. Grape, I love. I will take anyone's like grape candy all day if they don't want it. Okay, the next one says, forgiveness is not necessary. And I very much agree with this. I think for a long time, everyone was like, oh, we have to be able to forgive to move on from the people who wronged us and da 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 da. You don't have to forgive. You don't have to forgive people. You don't have to forget. You do, I think, need to take a look at what not forgiving and not forgetting is going to do to you personally. I don't think it's healthy to like hold on to animosity and to hold grudges and to hold on to just toxicity and negativity. I think you need to let that go. But as far as like forgiveness, you don't need to forgive anyone if you don't want to. And I think that this narrative got painted of like, we need to, as a society, be able to forgive and move on. No, you don't. Says who? You don't need to forgive. If you feel like you want to forgive someone, then forgive them. And if you feel like you don't want to forgive them for them, but you want to forgive them for yourself to be able to be like, I am just forgiving you so I can move on with this, then that's fine. But if you are angry, if you're upset, you don't have to forgive people. I do think, like I said, it's important to take a look at that and be like, okay, I don't have to forgive them, but I also don't want to sit here and have just like this rooted toxic animosity and negativity boiling up inside of me. So I do think it's important to, in some level, just learn to let go and to move on for the betterment of yourself. But don't ever feel like you're obligated to forgive anyone. Unpopular opinion, but I like mint ice cream. I love mint ice cream, but it has to be the green kind and it has to be mint chocolate chip. So it has to have like those chocolate chips in it and it has to be green. I don't know why, but that is the way my brain operates. It always has to be green. Next one, being sober around drunk people is actually so annoying. I can see, yeah, I would agree. I remember when it was dry January and my friends and I were like, let's just challenge ourselves and let's go to the bar and let's just stand there. We went to a bar on Broadway. It's called Barstool, if you've ever heard of it. We went to Barstool and it was dreadful. Granted, we put ourselves in that position because like obviously if people are going to the bar, they're going to probably go there to drink for the most part sometimes. But we put ourselves in that position and it was just like being around all those people was actually insufferable. And the drunk people and the level of drunkenness, it was just like, it was a lot. And it really made me take a second and look at myself and I'm like, I don't act like this, do I? Like, I don't do this. And I'm sure the drunk voice comes out a little bit after I've had a few too many. In fact, I know it does, but I'm pretty proud to say that I'm not an animal or anything like that. Like when I get crazy drunk, like I don't go insane. Like I'm just I vibe and I laugh a lot. But that's about it. Unpopular opinion, Cane's chicken is overhyped. Okay, I haven't had Cane's in years and they just opened one up here about like 6 to 8 months ago and I still haven't gone. So I'm going to need to go back and try it just for science purposes at this point and see if it's still overrated. But I remember when I had it in San Diego, I loved it. Cane's was so good. So I don't know. I'm going to have to go back and figure it out and try again. And I'll have to get back to you on that one. Okay, and then the last one that we have is that Jimmy John's is better than Subway and Chipotle is better than Qdoba. Here's going to be an even bigger hot take for you. I've never had Jimmy John's and I've never had Qdoba. But my favorite sandwich shop, like out of those kinds of like the Subways and Jimmy John's, and I love Jersey Mike's. I love a Jersey Mike's sandwich. It is like the best. First of all, it's the best hangover food, but it's also just the best food in general. It's so good. A good Jersey Mike's sandwich. Oh my God. So good. And then I've never had Qdoba, but I could imagine there would be like competition there because I love like any Mexican food ever. So I'm going to have to try it. I don't know if we have a Qdoba in Nashville. Let's look it up. Qdoba. 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 Do we have one here? Yeah, we do. Or no, we don't. The closest one to me is in Kentucky. I'm not going to Kentucky for Qdoba, but I will take your word that Chipotle is better than Qdoba. And we can debate in the comments about that too. But that, you guys, is going to be the end of this episode for me today. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to another episode of My Thoughts Exactly. Again, if you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button. That way you never miss an episode. We post weekly here on the podcast every single Wednesday. Or sorry, every single Friday. And you're not going to want to miss it. I'll be back next week with a brand new one for you guys, and I'll see you there. Bye, guys.